It seems to me that everybody seems to want to take a step back instead of taking a step forward.
Hundreds of empty apartments in Fairfield. They've been abandoned for a decade. They used to house military members who worked at Travis Air Force Base next door.
Now, with a housing shortage in California, the developer and housing advocates want new life to come to that community. But the city and the Air Force say that is not going to happen.
Our investigative reporter Brooks Giroz tells us about the barriers keeping the project from getting off the ground.
On the outskirts of Travis Air Force Base in Fairfield stands a ghost fleet of former military families' homes.
So when you see all this empty housing like this, what do you think?
Kind of think about the number of people that are sleeping on the street tonight and wish we could put a roof over their head.
Data shows Solano County has more than 1,200 homeless, including 160 veterans. Housing advocates now see an opportunity to bridge that gap.
These homes are up, the walls are up.
For 20 years, the Georgetown complex was leased by the Air Force to house service members. That ended a decade ago, and the apartments have sat vacant.
So this is one of the units that Hunt remodeled.
Hunt Companies built and owns these 300 units. It's prepared to invest $36 million to renovate and market the property as affordable housing, even setting aside dozens of apartments for veterans.
I think it's in the best interest of the community.
But there's a problem. The base, which is just a stone's throw away, controls the water lines and refuses to turn them back on.
What is the holdup here?
I mean, I think that's the million-dollar question.
The answer is more complicated. The Air Force says it doesn't typically provide utilities for non-U.S. government ventures and directed us to the city of Fairfield, which ironically said the plan doesn't hold water.
Mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling.
J.R. Wilson is an Army vet who helps find other veterans homes and jobs. He says with so many homeless or squeezed out because of rising rents, doing something here just makes sense.
Remove the obstacle. Let the water flow. Let the essence of life flow into these homes and revitalize our community.
Hunt says it would pay and replace the old pumping system and wants to work out a temporary agreement with the base until city expansion allows Georgetown to connect to Fairfield's lines.
To not want to do that is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
For years, the developer has pushed to get the housing back online. The city said in 2016 the community is eligible for water, sewer, and emergency services. But last year, the city manager named a host of outstanding issues, miles away from schools, grocery stores, and police and fire stations, and far from public transportation with only one way in and out, posing a threat to public safety.
I mean, I really think the conversation needs to be about what needs to be done and how do we work together to make this happen instead of all the reasons that folks are throwing out there that it shouldn't go forward.
The city refused an on-camera interview and said this is not a priority project, claiming it puts low-income residents at a disadvantage. For now, the homes, basketball court, and playgrounds just sit.
With all my heart, I wish I could be there.
Air Force veteran David Boatwright is disabled on a fixed income and lives in Stockton. He'd like to be living in Fairfield, close to the base for medical care, the commissary, and other resources.
I could get on my scooter and I can go right over and get all the help I need.
His PTSD previously led him to a life of depression, addiction, and homelessness.
That despair, that loneliness, that shame, that guilt, that remorse, all just helps to keep him down.
These days, what keeps him looking up? His pet parrot, Precious.
Hi, Precious. Hi, baby.
But he longs for a safer community made up of his peers to connect with.
Open the door for us, because we need it. Us veterans need it.
This is a way to keep them from that ledge.
Hunt has hired engineers, developed designs, and paid the city $12,000 in application fees, but the city has not issued permits.
If we can press go, we're less than a year away from having these be ready to have people move in.
Without a broker deal for water and secondary roadway access, construction is at a standstill with no signs of progress.
The city of Fairfield has been slow at building affordable housing, but officials say they have a renewed focus and boasted new projects like this one at One Lake a few miles closer to town. Right now, 190 affordable apartments are being built, but that's far less than the 300 setting up at Georgetown. I'm Brooks DeRose, KTVU Fox 2 News.